Meet Howard and Kathy Walmsley. One day, Howard told Kathy a little lie. He said he'd won the national lottery. And she believed him.
£8,904,558.
He went shopping for fast cars.
When I'd picked out 2 Jaguars, the salesman's face lit up.
A dream home.
That one, the swimming pool, just there.
Yeah, the snooker room just past that.
And a lifestyle fit for a multi-millionaire.
So I said, well, if it's what I want, I'll have it.
But it was all a massive con. Howard hadn't actually won a single penny. The lottery lie began with a pair of shoes costing just £8.
These are the shoes that started it all. I fell in love with them. We were out shopping, and I really wanted them. I knew we couldn't afford them. But Howard says, get them. I says, no, can't afford them. He says, get them. Get whatever you want. Treat yourself. We won the lottery.
Back in September 1998, Howard and Kathy Walmsley had been married for 5 years. It wasn't going well. Howard didn't bring enough in from his painting and decorating business to pay the bills.
His marriage were at a breaking point. She'd had enough and she wanted a divorce. That's when I came up with the idea to stop people coming, debt collectors coming to the doors, people ringing up harassing us, that I'd won a lottery. I can't believe that from that day that it ever escalated to the amount what came out in the end.
Howard told Kathy to keep the news to herself. He hoped his little lie would buy him time while he tried to save their relationship. But within a few days, he began sharing his secret, starting with his sister and brother-in-law, Bev and Nigel.
He just said, I've won lottery. And I says, come on, you're kidding. And he said, no, I have.
Then there were the neighbours, Marge and Karen.
And he'd said, like, they'd got 5 numbers. And then it were, like, 5 numbers, bonus. Then it went to, like, 6, but we never ever knew how much. He never ever said how much he'd won, and he just said, like, I've won lottery.
Thank you.
The news that Howard's numbers had come up spread like wildfire across their council estate in Doncaster.
Everybody believed him, even everyone at club.
He bought drinks, he took them out for meals, everything.
It's £2 then, please.
Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. People paid more attention to me than if I hadn't won the lottery. They seemed to want to be with me in my company all the time. I didn't actually believe that I'd won the lottery. All I wanted to do is treat Kathy to an holiday from the bit of money what I'd actually borrowed from bank.
Howard had indeed borrowed some money. He convinced Kathy it would be a good idea to splash out on the couple's first holiday abroad. They headed for the Canaries.
We needed some time to get away so we could get our heads clear and sort out what we were doing with this money.
Howard still hadn't put a figure on his fantasy fortune.
He kept telling me to go steady because we can't get all of the money just yet because it's an offshore account and all we've got is the interest and that's all we can get until it's sorted. So he kept saying, just calm down a little bit because once this is gone, we've got to wait another month for the next payment to come through.
Every time I said that, she kept saying, well, how much have you won? And I kept saying, I've just won a little bit.
This is Howard, this is Catherine.
On holiday, Kathy and Howard met some new friends, Brian Scott and his wife Gloria. Over a few drinks, their secrets spilled out.
You don't meet people who win the lottery. It's just, you know, you sort of, you hear, oh, there were so many winners, and you think, oh, right, but you don't, they're never people you know.
Someone had said to me, how much has that guy got in his pocket? It looked like a guy that was willing to spend money.
Hey, look, I've got a picture of him walking past the shops.
Everywhere we went, you know, for meals on a night or breakfast in the morning, Kath'd say, you pay.
You know, as far as I was concerned, we were lottery winners, and I'd have paid for their holiday if I could.
The evening we spent out with him, we had a nice meal, a couple of bottles of champagne. Although we said we'd pay our share, he insisted on picking up the bill.
Sweet, I'm here. We'll put the camera on later for when Mick's had a few drinks.
I had to go to Cash Point over in Puerto Rico and draw another 500 out, so this holiday had actually cost me about 2,400 by the time I finished.
Although he didn't disclose the sum, but he did indicate that it was enough to sort of set him up in a nice lifestyle and give him a good income for the rest of his life, you know. My feeling of it was good luck to him.
Back in Doncaster, the holiday was over, but the lottery lie just kept on growing.
I tried to tell her on a few different occasions, yeah, I did try to tell her. But I just couldn't bring myself to just say that I ain't one of I've borrowed money. I just couldn't tell her.
Cathy was beginning to have doubts about their newfound wealth because the bills were still mounting up.
So I decided to phone Camelot for my own peace of mind as well, to make sure that there was a win. They couldn't give me any information. What she did offer me was a rundown of the amounts being won each week on a Wednesday and a Saturday. I went through some dates and I said, well, it must have been 17th of October 1998. And he says, yeah, it was. And I says, well, that means it's £8,904,558. He says, yeah. And I couldn't believe it.
I had to lie, because if I hadn't lied, then she'd have known the truth. And small thing led to a big lie. And it just got out of control.
It was more than what he thought I had come up with. But that was the actual figure on that date, so he had to stick by it.
So a little lie about some £8 shoes had now become an £8 million whopper. Three months after supposedly becoming multi-millionaires, Howard and Cathy were still living in their council house. Howard was sticking to his story that their fortune was offshore and still unavailable.
You kept being evasive all the time then, didn't you? You wouldn't give me figures, you wouldn't discuss anything, and I was excited of the thoughts of getting a new life and helping everybody else have a new life. And that one, the big thing for me, you know. So we've got 8 kids between us, and we were sharing it all out equally. Would you believe, by the time we'd shared the rest of the money out, plus as parents and as brothers and sisters, we were skint.
Howard and Cathy decided to share their good fortune at a celebration party for their family and friends. More than 60 people accepted their invitation.
The folks there I'd never seen before. And I thought, well, who are these? And they said, oh, the family. I said, well, I've never seen them.
Bought first round of drinks, didn't you, for everybody?
I bought drinks all night, I spent £600.
As soon as people went to the bar, I'd say, what you having, what you having?
The drinks flowed, the buffet was served, But there was one thing missing.
But we never got the cheque.
Never get checks out, though.
No.
Everyone sat there waiting for the cheques.
So you'd told people you were going to give them cheques?
Yeah, 50,000, 150,000.
Let's get this right, Howard. You tell people we were going to give them cheques that night.
After the party, Howard knew he had to produce hard evidence of the win, so he turned to a childhood dream.
When I told Kathy that I'd won at lottery, I thought, well, to make it a bit more realistic, the lottery win, I went to a Jaguar dealership in Doncaster. I always wanted a Jaguar because I used to have some model cars when I was about 7 or 8 years old.
I'm Jeff Milnes and I'm the general manager of the Jaguar dealership in Doncaster.
Howard strolled around the showroom and chose an XJ8 in sea frost green. But that was just the start.
So he's already agreed to spend £38,000 or thereabouts on a car for himself, and he then decided that he should buy his wife a car, which happened to be an XK8 Coupe, very similar to this one. So between the two cars, he was looking to spend somewhere in the region of £90,000.
When I'd picked out two Jaguars, the salesman's face lit up, didn't it? And when I said to him I'd like to buy another Jaguar for another member at family, that's when he ordered some flowers for you, isn't it? And then he got you a bottle of bubbly.
We thought it was a little unusual that somebody would buy 3 cars so quickly, but then again, we hadn't met a lottery winner before.
The treaters like royalty, didn't they?
Yeah. Presented me with these flowers when I walked in, and, you know, couldn't do enough for us, could they? They were really good, really were good.
One of the things that impressed me about Howard's generosity was the fact that he was going to give a tractor to a village in Africa. He thought that that was the best way to help them.
One day I actually said to the salesman, could I use one of the Jaguars which are all purchasing off you? He said, yeah, that's no problem. He said, you can take any which Jaguar you want to take out. I said, well, I'll take the XJS. I put £50 in, and all I could think of is watching the petrol gauge just going down and down and down.
He told us about setting up trust funds for his children. He was going to buy properties and cars for his family, and he seemed to be a very genuine and a very generous man. And we accepted him for that.
There were lots of times when I doubted he'd won the lottery. But things like this, buying Jags, not ordering just one, ordering 3, I kept thinking he can't go this far. He won't go this far. Telling porkies, but he did.
Howard and Kathy's fortune was now the talk of the neighbourhood.
It were inevitable. Everybody were on the street, you know, when they came back from shopping. And it'd be like, oh, God, have you seen what they've got? They've been here, they've been there. And
it's jealousy.
It's two-faced, really. You get that on every street, don't you?
Yeah.
I've got good friends, good neighbours, but there's far too much crime going off round here. And I'd love to move somewhere else to bring me little girl up in a better environment, really.
A place in the country, perhaps. With Howard's encouragement, Kathy soon spotted her dream home. Howard clinched the deal.
I'm John Norris, and this is my wife Carolyn, and Mr Walmsley was buying our farmhouse for £285,000 cash. Yeah, we decided to put it on the market. One thing, because the upkeep of this vast house was enormous, and business wasn't as good as what it could be. When Howard offered me the cash, the £285,000, to me it was like winning the lottery.
It was a nice farmhouse with lots of potential that were near my family, near to the countryside, very private, needed quite a bit of work doing to it for a millionaire. to live in.
In their borrowed limousine, the Walmsleys created the right impression.
Brand new Jaguar, top of the range model.
Take us for a spin in it?
Yeah, he used to take us for a run and we used to buy the beer.
Yeah. He seemed quite a genuine person and we trusted him and it just went on from there.
Howard and Kathy were planning to turn the farm into a home fit for millionaires.
These are the plans that we had made up for the house. We were going to have a large courtyard as you walk in, stables at one side. On the other side there'd be a big massive extension off the house which contained a snooker room. Next to that a gym with all the latest equipment, en suite, which led through to the swimming pool, which was going to be fantastic, which led through to the granny flat. Well, more of a guest house really. It had everything. It was going to cost a lot of money, probably about £300,000, but it wouldn't have broke the bank.
First on Howard's shopping list was the swimming pool.
My name is David Hallam. We build very expensive swimming pools. An essential piece of equipment on any swimming pool is a pool cover. Mr. Walmsley said to me, "Can you dance on it?" I said, "No, you can't." But I said, "We can make you a pool cover that will either rise up from the floor or come down from the ceiling, all at the press of a button. But as soon as we start talking money, people go off the idea." So he said, "Well, how much is it going to cost?" I said, "Literally anywhere between £25,000 and £40,000. So I said, "Well, if it's what I want, I'll have it."
Howard also wanted Kathy to have a top-of-the-range farmhouse kitchen.
This was my dream kitchen for the farmhouse. These are the plans we had made up. It was going to be in light oak, an island in the middle, spotlights, wine rack, fridge freezer, cooker, all disguised. They were actually peanuts, the amount they quoted as £17,000. That would have been 2 weeks' interest.
Then there was the snooker table.
Mr. Brian Sloan, Cheshire Billiards Company. We specialise in the purchase and renovation of billiard tables, mainly antique, Edwardian, Victorian, exquisite pieces. I dropped him a few hints about certain lottery winners we'd done tables for, and he remarked that he'd had a little bit of a tickle himself. This is the table that Mr. Walmsley intended purchasing. It's one that we'd use for a match for Ray Raiden. We quoted the man £6,500, delivered and installed, complete with all accessories, as and when he was ready, for which he was going to bring in a deposit of £500, and never appeared with it.
On paper, Howard's spending on the house alone ran to more than £500,000. On top of that was the cost of the holiday, the cars, the party, and the pedigree Labrador puppy he'd ordered for Kathy.
As time was going on, involving more and more people, I would attempt to be a bit more snappy. We used to argue. And we shouldn't be arguing when we've got all this money.
And the more happy she looked about doing different things, better things than what she's ever done before, the more depressed I was.
It was the minute I started asking questions, you know, what's happening today and are we doing this tomorrow and what about this and what about that? And he'd say, "Oh, I've had enough, I'm going out."
But Howard wasn't just going out.
What we're doing is going to the local newsagents and spending between £60 and £70 a week buying lottery tickets, hoping that if I won, it won't be a lie anymore. I just had this gut feeling I've got to win. And one Saturday, Kathy were upstairs in Bath, and I was downstairs and I was watching lottery balls come up. My first 4 numbers actually came out. And I thought, all I need is the next 2. Then I won't have to tell any lies anymore. You know, the dream won't be a dream, it would be a reality. But they didn't come. So I just carried on week after week buying lottery tickets.
Four months after announcing his phantom win, Howard was still broke and facing disaster.
I took to drink. I'm going out every night. And I go sit in a local club down the road. And even when I was sitting in there, people knew or thought I had won lottery. And it would cost me more money to go in there, so I might as well have stopped in and been more and more fed up.
The high street banks had been queuing up to win Howard's business. They helped him to open more than a dozen accounts.
I actually owed at a bank £1,000, and they said to me, "We'll forget about that £1,000. You come and invest your money with us." I only intended investing £3 million, which I know I didn't have. They were going to actually get £274,000. That would have been their share, and commission what they'd have made out of that £3 million.
While Howard dealt with his phantom fortune, Kathy got on with planning the move.
Well, when everyone knew they were moving, she gave things away. Everything, you name it, kitchen utensils, you know. I mean, she was going to give her washer away.
It were like light fittings and nets and, you know, stuff like that, bathroom stuff. And I mean, she had a really old scabby brown settee, and she'd still said, yeah. She cleaned it up to see if anybody wanted it.
She gave that to me.
Oh, did she?
But the bills just kept on coming, and Kathy's doubts about her lottery winnings grew and grew.
It got to a stage where I had to know. I couldn't stand another day without knowing, without it being confirmed how much he'd won. So I said, prove it. You've got to prove it.
Howard headed for the cash point. He'd written a cheque for £8.9 million and paid it into one of his accounts. He knew it would bounce, but not for several days. More than enough time to print a statement showing his wealth.
This was one way to prove that I had got £8.9 million in the bank.
And you said to me, "Do you believe him?" And I said, "Well, he's shown me it. He's shown me his receipt from the bank, so how can I disbelieve that?" I said, "I've got to believe him."
It was a trick he could repeat. He had an old chequebook from an account he'd closed down. He used it to pay more false cheques into his new accounts.
He came in with a slip from Cash Point to prove that he had got money.
Each demand for payment was met with proof of Howard's fortune as he moved his fictitious money around. Over 3 months, he bounced cheques on himself for millions of pounds.
Everyone just wanted Howard's business. I mean, banks.
Because they thought he had money.
I mean, my bank won't let me bounce. My bank, if I did a bum cheque, that'd be it. I'd be in bother.
His trick even sustained Kathy's dream of buying a home fit for millionaires.
The estate agents would get in touch with the bank and say, yes, he's got sufficient funds to buy your property. So we'd go on to a further stage.
Finally, Howard signed a cheque to pay for the house. He turned up to help the Norrises move out and into a caravan, even though he knew the cheque would bounce.
He watched all my light fittings being taken down. My children were uprooted, all the school equipment, everything. We had to fit into this tiny little caravan. And he just sat there, laughing, joking, not a care in the world.
"6 a.m. on moving day, and Kathy was awake early, ready to set off for her new home and her new life.
I had everything boxed up. I'd given things away. Everything seemed to be all together this time. We seemed to have got everything in order.
But everything wasn't in order. Howard knew his cheque for the farm would bounce. Then came a knock on the door.
I was laid in bed and Kathy got out of bed and she answered the door. Then I heard a lot of banging at the back door and I thought, what's going off?
Banging, shouting. "We have a warrant for your arrest."
The police were investigating a series of frauds involving Howard's previous business. They knew nothing of his lottery lie.
When I heard him say it was police, I thought, such a real relief. I thought, and now I'll be able to talk truth.
Howard, tell the truth?
His reaction was, I'm a lottery winner, and, what's the problem?
Everybody's going to get the money back, so I've won the lottery. Come back and see us later.
Detectives Phil Purnell and John Ragg had spent 2 years chasing up Howard's debts from his failed business. When he introduced himself as a multi-millionaire, they were so surprised at first they believed him.
Well, I was dumbstruck with what he came out with. I got this feeling that it was going to be a waste of time because somebody was going to make the decision, well, he's going to repay these people, and Howard wasn't going to get his just desserts. I distinctly remember thinking, well, you lucky bastard. You had to look back at it now in hindsight and think, well, how stupid were you? Because this guy was a con merchant and he should have realised that what he was saying immediately was untrue.
Don't know why I went round on that morning. I just did. And Howard came to the door and he just went, "Accountants are here," and shut the door on me. And I'm like, right.
And I kept saying, "But we've won the lot, we're moving today." And the police said, "I doubt it, love."
They were all saying, "Oh, God, I bet it's counterfeit money, I bet it's this, I bet it's that." It were awful.
At the police station, Howard clung to his lottery lie. Throughout the morning, throughout the afternoon, and well into the evening.
He lived this lie, more or less all day, until that particular night. He was asked the question, have you won the lottery? No.
As we're going out the interview room, the policeman said to Kathy, Howard's got something to tell you. And I said, Kathy, we haven't won the lottery. I said, it was just a lie.
All I wanted to do was get home. I just wanted to get through that door and shut the door and cry.
Howard's plan to use his lottery lie to hang on to Kathy had backfired. She threw him out and then set about telling those around her that their jackpot win was a fantasy.
People always said to me, how could you possibly have not known? There's always that element of doubt, and yeah, I would daft for believing, but then again it could have been true. I've always held my head up high before, and sometimes now I have to cow down a little bit because I've hurt so many people. You know, you see somebody in the street and you think, oh, we must have affected them in some way. I can't hold my head up high. Say, hey, oh, you all right? Had a good day? I lost all that.
And Kathy had another shock coming. The detectives had discovered that Howard had a mistress. He'd persuaded her to take out £30,000 in loans to pay for a new life together. But he'd actually used the money to convince everyone he was a lottery millionaire.
He manipulated the relationship to obtain the money, because once he got his hands on the money, he could then convince his wife that he was a lottery winner, because he could give her the things that she wanted. He took her on holiday with that money, and all of that money was spent.
He did meet somebody else that gave him the attention that he did want. He actually asked her to get a loan so they could buy an house, and I think he actually intended going through with it because he knew there were no hope for us. But he decided to hang on to me a little bit longer when he got the money through from this loan. He decided to try and woo me back. And I wouldn't accept any gifts or any money off him because there were bills to be paid. So the only way he could spend on me were to tell me that he'd got lots and lots and lots of money. And that way all my worries would be over. So he told me to win the lottery. It was because he loved me so much and he didn't want to lose none of his family. Yeah, we got through that. That's over and done with. That's part of his past and we've dealt with it.
I felt terrible that I'd deceived Kathy so much, and how people reacted towards me. I just wanted to... I didn't want to go out. And the only way to get her back was to get a job, and that's what I did. To try to pay debts, but to give her all the money to pay with.
Howard's plan worked. 3 months after his arrest, Kathy took him back. But his troubles weren't over. The police charged him with multiple counts of deception.
At first, I thought, you're going to go down big style, mate, for this, and you deserve every little bit of it. And I was mad, and he did deserve it. But then he were getting to a desperation state where he thought, I've got to have this dream. I can't live without this dream now because I've told too many people and I've made too many plans.
You've got to appreciate how it's spread like a poison throughout the people, the community, his family. He's affected so many people's lives.
Howard's dream had cost the Norrises a small fortune.
About £30,000 we lost. £20,000 on the property, which we had to sell very quickly to pay all the people off, which Howard incurred costs for us.
We've never hated him. I do believe that when he says he's never hurt anyone during this, well, he has, because, you know, I could have destroyed us. I think she's a fool, really, to stand by a man who lies and cheats his way through life, because that's what it boils down to, but that's up to her. If she wants to stick by him, you know.
Oh, gosh. Starting building already.
Looks nice as well, doesn't it?
The Walmsleys have decided to take one last look at their dream home. It's now been bought by someone else.
That wouldn't be a swimming pool, just there.
Yeah,
right
and
next to
snooker room
cottage.
just got me just past there, wasn't it?
Well, snooker room going to be extension from
Yeah.
big sheds to house, won't it?
Yeah.
Feels like we've actually lived here.
Yeah.
In a way, doesn't it? 'Cause
Yeah, just true.
we put a lot of hard work into this, even though it weren't ours.
Yeah.
I had a phone call from the architect. You know how Mr. Walmsley, the lottery winner? I said, yes. He said, he ain't no lottery winner. He's a wanker.
Absolutely amazed, as I say, that everything was a lie. I couldn't really see what the man's intentions were in the first place. I mean, why kid someone that you've got money and you haven't got money? What's the problem?
I said, sorry. He said, he ain't no lottery winner. He's in clink. He's a fraudster.
I knew that we could never have moved into it because I didn't have the money to afford to do it. So.
But a nice dream while it lasted, though, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But the dream is truly over. Howard has been called to court to be sentenced on 13 counts of deception.
This has always been in the back of my mind that, you know, one day I'll get that letter through the door saying I'll be going to court. And I've got that letter through and I'll be in court on Monday. It's just the day what we've always dread, for this letter coming. I went to see a psychiatrist in Doncaster Infirmary, and he said that that I were an high risk of reoffending. I disagree with that. I think he's wrong for saying that because I've changed that much and I won't take risks anymore.
Howard's case is being prepared by his solicitor, James Gray.
Howard's a very personable guy, you know. He's very easy to get on with. I'm sure in relation to people who he met, he was obviously plausible. And I'm sure for a time he believed that he was doing or trying to do the right thing. You have to look at it realistically. In terms of sentencing, there is only one option. Because of the large scale and long-term deception or fraud aspect of it, prison is the only option. And that's speaking from the defence side. Hello, Kathy. All right. Hi, Howard. Take a seat. Right. Obviously, you've come to discuss the impending court hearing date. Now, about sentencing, obviously there are a number of options, but from our discussions throughout the preparation of this case, I think we've always been aware, and you've always been realistic, that prison is probably the only option available to the judge.
Yeah.
Mainly because of the nature of the charges, the number of them.
Yeah.
Now, so far as the length of any custodial sentence is concerned, obviously that's completely in the hands of the judge. The key thing in your case is to persuade the judge that he doesn't need to give you a long-term sentence, and that the short-term sentence, i.e. a sentence of under 4 years, is basically the sentence for you.
Yeah.
The shorter the better from your point of view.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's Saturday night, and amazingly, Howard is still pinning his hopes on a ticket for the lottery.
I actually bought a look at it tonight, and I just hope that I've got a chance of winning.
He'd still like to win, and I think he'd do the same again. He'd go out and buy these flash cars and treat everybody, and but this time to be for real.
But just like every other week, Howard's luck is out.
That was the last chance.
It's Howard and Kathy's last night together before he faces court, and it's a time to reflect.
It was Howard that wanted the big things, the things that stand out, like the Jaguars, the swimming pool. Yeah, I wanted it as well, but I'd have done things step at a time. I'd have took things a little bit more steady. But that's what you do when you have millions of pounds, don't you? Good health. Howard were good. He were very good at it. He convinced professionals convinced the rest of his family. And it got to a stage where I were doubting him on my own, and other people were telling me, why are you doubting him?
Love you. I really do love you.
It's the day of the court case, and already the media are onto Howard's story.
Looking back on what's happened now, can you just describe, your feelings about what you've done?
I feel sorry to all people I've done things to, and I'm just so deeply sorry.
A lot of people on the street claim to be his friend anyway, but they're not now.
Went into my local club and one bloke shouts, "He should be barred from this club."
But they took his money when he bought them drinks, and now...
No, they don't even want to know him.
They just ignore him now.
People in a shop down the road from where I live even put a poster in saying, "Millionaire liar."
He wrote letters.
He wrote letters
saying how sorry he was to them that he'd hurt.
But some people just tore him up and sent him back.
Kathy, you're sticking by your husband. Why have you decided to do that?
It's proved to me that all he did it for was for his love of his family.
Okay. I've only got a few hours now before I actually go to court. I thought I'll nip off to town and see if I could buy just a small piece of jewellery, just to say thank you to Kathy for all she's done for me.
Howard's got this thing into his head that I'll leave him when he's in prison. I will never say, "Oh, don't be so silly, love, I won't leave you." I will never do anything like that. I'll just say, "Who knows?"
Okay.
Yeah, that's nice. Yeah, thanks.
I just don't want to make him feel that no matter what he does, he can get away with, and I'll stand by him. Because the next time, I won't. So I want him to make him realise that, yeah, I'll only stand so much, mate. You've took me as far as I can go.
Hope you like it.
Oh.
How much finger?
Yeah, just the right fit. Oh, thank you. Oh, God, that's unusual.
You can always have it altered anyway.
Time to get ready for court.
Should have been at home with my wife. I won't be in a cell tonight. She said that she'd stick by me. So I just hope that, she'll stick by what she said.
Howard's little lie has now become headline news. He's pleaded guilty to fraud and is hoping the judge will be lenient.
We don't think Howard should get a custodial sentence, but he's got to see psychiatrists as into why he let this go on to such depth that it did. That'd help him a lot more than putting him in with folks who are going to probably teach him some more tricks. They'll not pull him down in my eyes. What he did were wrong. I still think they're less of him. I'll just be a bit dubious about whatever he tells me from now on. I'd like to think, aye, prove it 100%. Show me the money.
I think Howard's going to be a nice, honest guy when he comes out of prison. It'll last all of 2.5 hours, and Howard will return to his same way of life as he did before.
The judge told Howard that although he'd conned his victims, he wouldn't con the court, and sentenced him to 3 years in prison.
I feel Howard should not be jailed for what he has done. Howard did wrong. He knows that and he is very sorry. His motives, however, were not malicious. He did it to keep us all. And I'm standing by him.
What do you make of the sentence? No comment.
Howard is now 6 months into his sentence. In prison, his nickname is Bonus Ball. Kathy hopes with good behaviour, he'll be home for the new year.
I'm not bitter. I mean, we've gone through it. It was hard. I've gone through a dream, which would have been nice, but not actually kept it. I have been a millionaire, haven't I?